All right, gentlemen, welcome back. We have a big slab pour.
Start where that is and just press this up, and then we'll bring it square back.
That is my placer on the ground, letting me know where we are going ahead of time, which is really great. If you are a placer and you're working with a crane operator, that crane operator would like to know where he's going with this bucket before he starts to move, or if he's already moving, as early as possible, because we are going to be adjusting our flight path and how we can best come into that location. So the sooner the information is communicated of where you are going, the better. This is a big slab. This is a lot of volume. I can't remember exactly how much, but we're probably talking about 180 meters, maybe even close to 200. There's my wave off call, beautiful, and we are just dumping, and it's getting pretty messy. We got quite the big edge going on. We got to kind of work that edge so that we can mix in the fresh concrete from the bucket with the concrete that has already started to set. But you see, it doesn't take long there. That's just one quick dump. He's not taking any extra time, and I'm already headed back to the truck. You know, round trip here is 2.5 minutes, maybe, not even. And that's where the double bucket comes in. I know I said this in my last video, I'm gonna say it again. The double buckets, when you are pouring concrete with the tower crane, is to solve for the volume issue. If volume is your problem, double buckets are the solution. If you are doing precision work and you are going to be pouring concrete for a long time, as in the placer is going to take his time pouring the concrete because you're in a situation where you cannot just dump willy-nilly. You know, you're in a almost finished part of the building where you don't want to overfill, because then it's, you know, a lot of work to get that extra concrete out of there before it hardens up. Then the double bucket really doesn't matter, because your round trip is going to be like 5 or 10 minutes. So what's another 30 seconds at the truck? Who cares? But here, where your trip is only about 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds there and back, you know, and waiting there at the truck for an extra 30 to 45 seconds to a minute sometimes, it really slows you down. So double buckets solve for the volume issue. Now I'm going to a different place. Looks like we're going that far edge. We're going to do one last strip to connect this slab that we're pouring into the already poured slab. And I'm going nice and slow, first of all, because you can see the placer there is on his cell phone. Now, I don't like that, but I'm not going to, you know, say nothing. There's nothing you can do as the operator, but you want to have your guy on the ground focused on that bucket. So I'm, you know, he doesn't have my confidence right now. I'm just going slow, very slow. I'm not worried about speed. This is also, you know, we're almost done this bore. There's not a lot of volume left, maybe 1 or 2 trucks. So at this point, we are in the money. You know, at the start of a pour, when you have maybe 180 meters to go, you got 18 trucks or 20 trucks. You know, at the start, you really got to be focused. Everyone is on the same page, laser focused. Let's get as much done as we can early in the day to make our afternoon easier. But at this point, when most of the slab is poured, when we only got a few trucks left, you know, you don't have, we're on our A game still, yes, but what we do now, you know, the length of the day has already really been determined. You know, we're just cruising to the victory line. We don't have, you know, an intimidating 20 more trucks to go through. Get your chute out of the way for me, buddy. Jeez. If there's one thing I don't like about the concrete truck drivers is, he wants to flip his chute out there way too quick. Could you give me some room and let me put the bucket down? I'm using 2 buckets, so I don't have a lot of room to work with already. And I don't want to have to worry about the driver and his chute while I'm landing the bucket. So, drivers, if you're out there, keep your chute well away and even be well out of the way. I don't even like the driver, standing where he is fine, but I prefer for him to be back 5 feet because I don't want to have to worry about him.
Same spot as last, my man.
Copy.
This is very common. People being way too close to the action or way too close to the load. Sometimes when big wigs are on site or the white hats are on site, they'll go and distract your rigger at the back of the truck. They'll, stand way too close, and that'll make operators nervous because, you might be like, oh, well, I'm 10 feet away. Yeah, but I'm 200 feet in the air. And not only that, the jib is 150 feet, my bucket's at 150 feet, maybe 200 feet. So to me, it looks like you're right there. And I don't want to have to, I'm responsible for the movement of this crane. And I don't want to have to worry about you getting mixed up in the business if I make a wrong move. You need to give me space to make mistakes. Look at that pour. Boom. He's going hard. See, look at that. He's like, hey, vibrator guy, watch out. This bucket's coming through. And that's what you got to do as a placer, If the bucket starts moving in a way you don't want to or towards another guy, you got to say, hey, heads up, buddy. We got the bucket coming. Watch out. So if you're on a concrete crew, if you're the truck driver, if you're ever around the tower crane or the concrete bucket, and you're not the one who's actually pulling the bucket and placing the concrete, get the heck out of there, if possible. I understand, if you're a person that I see there a lot, that I pour a lot of concrete with, that I'm comfortable with, no big deal. Absolutely no big deal, because I'm comfortable with you. It's okay. I know you know what you're doing around the load. I don't have to worry about you making some wrong move and going the wrong way, and maybe I end up hitting you or something. That's what's going through my head, because as a crane operator, you're responsible for that. So if you're a rookie, if you don't pour concrete often, if you're not interacting with the crane and the bucket all the time, and you see a load, any type of load coming down, get clear. And then when you're clear, take 5 more steps back. Okay, just get away from it. It'll make the operator really appreciate that. And it'll be better for everyone. So this pour, I think it's gone really well. I mean, there's a lot of light left in the day. So, and look at all this slab that we've poured. And this is not a slab on grade. This is like 8 inches plus thick slab here. This is a suspended slab. A 2-meter bucket does not go very far. Going out to my guy in the white shirt there. He's giving me his down signal. That's really beautiful. That's all I need. We don't need to be talking on the radio the whole time. I see he's got his hands on, and then he waves me off. Boom. I love that. He's locked on to the bucket. This is great. Doing a great job. He's muscling that bucket. I'm trying to get in there, help him get that little piece in the corner. Oh, but he's saying, hey, I want you coming this way. So I'm going to say, all right. I'll trolley it in a little bit for you as I'm coming down. See this guy on the rake? He's so close to the bucket that I can't really give him the trolley in that I want. Because it's like you're asking me to go right towards my guys. So, I'll trolley in, but I can only trolley in so fast because there's 3 or 4 guys that are 5 feet away from the bucket. I don't want to over trolley and all of a sudden, whoosh, the bucket flies towards the guys. And then the guys look up at me like, dude, what are you doing? Something wrong with you? So yeah, that's just, if you want the crane to move faster, you have to give it the room to move. That's the moral of the story there. So, coming down. Oh, look at all that mud that he's working with. If you pour this volume of concrete, the ground is gonna be just gross at the end. Oh, the truck driver's helping us out. Isn't that great? Thank you very much, sir. Boom. And see how it lands on an angle like that? It's not flat ground. This is angled ground on the way down. So it's slippery. There's a grade. Oh, tough day for being a rigger and being on the truck, the back of the truck all day like this. It's quite monotonous work, but you know, being the double bucket champ, and when I say that, I mean the guy on the ground. I don't mean me in the seat.
All right, we're
It's a
gonna
tough
do
day.
a big old dump right here by the column.
Copy. See, he let me know where I'm going right before. That is beautiful. That is exactly what we want. I love it. That way I can get it in my head how I'm gonna get there. I can get my trolley set. I can, you know, understand where he wants me. And I see his hand. So I'm going right to his hand, but look at how close this like vibrator guy is. So I'm gonna go a little bit more slow. I'm gonna make sure I have really good control of it before I come down. He waves me off. I stop.
Trolley out of foot.
He said something. Oh yeah, in the money spot now. And he just cracks that thing wide open. God, I love that. Boom, boom, boom. Some operators are not gonna like you to do that, because depending on how strong the crane is, it's gonna be, oh, see that? It gives me the yes. I love that. So, yeah. That was, we're on a groove now, baby. We're working together. When you're working with new guys on the bucket, it's gonna take some time to, you know, understand their movements. This is really about trust. You have to trust the guy that you're working with. And the only way to do that is to work with him and have successful time in the bank. If he's always focused on the bucket, if he's always giving you that hold call, if he's always keeping you out of trouble, if he's doing that consistently, then you're going to be able to go faster and faster with him because you have more and more trust. This is the same with a rigger and a crane operator, or with, you know, a crane operator and anyone on site. Once you get the trust of the tower crane operator, he'll be happy to do lots of things for you, let you land loads, let you, you know, work with him. And if you show, you know, competency in your rigging, then, you know, he's gonna let you do a lot more than normally would be permitted. But if he has no idea who you are and he cannot trust you, then he's not going to let you do nothing. And that's how it always starts. So if, you know, at the start, the operator doesn't want you touching those chains, just relax. That means that, you know, you just have to gain his trust, and then maybe he will let you touch those chains. I really like pouring with this guy in the white. He's doing great. The truck is pretty much empty. That's why this bucket is not full. He's waving me down, see? When he starts waving me down, I know I'm getting close. I'm about 10 feet away. He backs off, so I know I'm right where I want to be. I'm assuming he's going for that little hole there. He waves me off, that's perfect. And he starts dumping. I'm gonna come down on the hoist as he dumps because this bucket is lifting up. Oh, he cracks it open. So I gotta match that action with coming down on the hoist more fast. And see, even that, he keeps waving me up, making sure that the bucket is out of the way and nice and safe before he takes his focus off of the bucket. That's what you want. You don't want a placer who dumps and then just like turns around. Like, what if I'm under some rebar, or what if the bucket's swinging in an odd position You want to be focused on that bucket until it's way safe. And then, you know, it's the operator's responsibility after that. So that concrete truck is already gone. My guy on the ground is, you know, cleaning out those buckets. If it's the summer, you know, even if it's just a 2-minute truck transition, you gotta clean out that bucket to keep that bucket nice and clean. And, you know, at this point in the pour, I've already went through 18, 19 trucks, so I'm getting nice and sloppy, especially with the empty bucket, but it is what it is. Until next time, boys, peace.